Trinity! Help!
Only human.
Dodge this. How did you do that?
Do what?
You moved like they do. I've never seen anyone move that fast.
Wasn't fast enough. Can you fly that thing?
Not yet.
Operator.
Tank, I need a pilot program for a B-212 helicopter. Hurry. Let's go.
So that's it. Joe Anthony here. Hey guys, true story, right? Can you learn anything? Wouldn't it be great if you could just download information into your mind so your brain could just make all the synapse connections, and instantly, like Trinity in the Matrix, you could learn how to fly a helicopter. You could learn anything, right? Because it's a program. Well, here's something interesting, guys, that we are in the program. We are actually part of the program, and we are running on autopilot, most definitely on autopilot. So the question becomes, what is it? How did you learn what you are programmed to do, right? And would you like to rewire the programs that you are running with new up-to-date programs? Because you want to hear something, I'll let you in on something which you probably already know this. You figured it out, right? That you're running old software, you're running old programs. You're running the same programs, whatever age you are, you've been running since you're 7 years old. So if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and over, you're running 97% are running the same programs. It's like having software that's outdated. And here's the cool thing, though, is that you can reprogram, rewire, like in the Matrix. You know, it might take you a little bit longer. Might take you a little bit longer than Trinity to learn how to do anything you want, but you can learn how to do anything just simply by reprogramming, rewiring what is in your brain. How do you do that? That's a different podcast. That's not today's podcast. But today's podcast, I wanted to focus on to challenge yourself that you can learn anything. You can learn anything simply by reprogramming and learning how to reprogram. That's the challenge. But the desire has to be there. You know, in the Matrix, she was asked, can you fly a helicopter? Do you know how to fly a helicopter? And what was her response? She didn't say no. In the Matrix, Trinity said, not yet. And then she called up to have a program for that helicopter downloaded so that now she could fly it. And the reality is that most people are playing a program. They're running an old program, an outdated program of your past, of our past. Because most of us are living with running programs that we learned when we were 7 years old, 5 years old. Most of those programs, that software programs we're running on autopilot, do us no good. Most of them. And they're outdated. It's like running outdated software for your computer, for your iPhone, for your Android. Google has to constantly update. Microsoft. Every program has to be updated because you're putting new functions, new functionality. If you want to be able to learn new things, you have to put in new software. So the way the brain works is that you are rewiring, making new synapse connections, new wires, right? Firing in new programs so that we can learn and do new things and be very good at it. But the question is, how? And the question is, do you want to? Do you want to upload new programs so that you can learn to do new things, especially if you are running a business, especially if you are using the internet, especially if you are struggling to make your business profitable, successful, if it's working for you, if you're attracting more people, targeting an audience that you particularly want to target. So like in the Matrix, where in fact, if you have not seen that movie here, I'll just share a little bit. This is the scene where you recall where Keanu Reeves asked Trinity, Neo asked Trinity a question. And it was kind of one of my favorite scenes, actually, in the movie, too. Recall that scene?
Yes.
Dodge this.
I think it's really. How did you do that?
Do what?
You move like they do. Oh, I've never seen anything move that fast. I love it.
Isn't fast enough. Can you fly that thing?
Not yet.
Operator.
Tank, I need a pilot program for a B-212 helicopter.
That was it. Done. That's how fast that program was downloaded into Trinity's brain. So she was able to have a software program downloaded, bam, right into her brain. That's what we're talking about, guys. Okay, it's not far-fetched. It's actually what we're talking about. It's learning how to do anything. Once you have the program uploaded, and part of what you have to learn to do is you have to learn how to learn, how to download stuff into your brain so that you can do anything you want, whatever you want, right? It's up to you. but you have to be in your consciousness. You can't just be relying on an outdated program, because most people are on autopilot. They're just running an old program until they understand. Once you understand, somebody makes you aware that you're running an outdated program. That's when it starts to, you become like the Matrix, stop living in the Matrix and get out of the Matrix and recognize that you have to be conscious of your thoughts and what you want to learn and what you're feeding and how you're wiring your mind with new information, with new programs that will run in a way that will attract the future that you want, because you're dreaming about things. Your vision for the future can be now. It's just downloading new programs, putting in new thoughts, new wiring your mind for success. It's really pretty interesting when you watch that little episode of The Matrix. The cool thing about when Keanu Reeves, Neo, asks Trinity if she can fly the helicopter. Again, she didn't say, no, I don't know how to. She just said, not yet. And then she calls up Tank and tells him specifically which program she needed for that specific model of helicopter so that she could fly it. And that's, in a way, what we need to do. We need to be specific with what we want our future to become, and then reprogram with new consciousness that gets uploaded, and it becomes a new software, because most of us are running old software. That's why we keep doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting different things, because we're running an old program, an outdated program, since the time we were 7 years old. So you might be 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 or older. And have you ever thought about changing that program? Because if you're running the same program, it's outdated. It doesn't work anymore. It's not bringing you the new realities that you want. And that's exactly why we need to understand. If you haven't already got a chance to look at Joe Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza, I'll put up, he has a couple of books out there. One is You Are the Placebo, but this one, if you can just go and get his, get one of his YouTubes, which is pretty cool. He's actually creating, Dr. Joe Dispenza is creating a new online study course called Rewire. It's basically how to rewire, how to reprogram your mind for success. So you're looking at Dr. Joe Dispenza, right? So that's who I recommend that you get. Dr. Joe Dispenza. Look him up. Get some of his stuff, man, because it's pretty powerful. He's got some really powerful. He's got a book called You Are the Placebo. There's a couple other books that he's written recently, bestsellers. And if anybody is interested, I am running a 4-week course, online course, on how to learn how to reprogram your mind for success using some of the online tools and strategies that are available that many people are challenged with. And I make it really super easy, super simple, how to understand, how to use Facebook, for example, how to get to target your specific audience, whatever service or product that you are selling, to help people how to really build a following. So you can build a following and what works. There's so many moving parts on the internet. You know, it's hard to know what's working, what's not, because you get so many different viewpoints. But you definitely want to do something on social media. You definitely want to use social media. The question is, how deep do you want to get into it? How much time do you have to put into it? I would say the minimum is an hour a day. If you can put 2 hours a day, it's even better. But go back to that little episode there in the Matrix 1, and really try to understand the concept of downloading new programs and how to learn anything that's new, because that's what your brain is best used for. If you're not downloading new information and not reprogramming it, then that's when your mind and your brain starts losing its sharpness. It's not, like Total Recall. A lot of people they say they're in brain fog, or they have brain fog. And then you've got that movie Limitless, which, the guy pops these special blue pills or special pills, and it makes his brain, fires it up, turbocharges it so that he can learn anything and program his brain. You can do that without having to take the pills, but you have to exercise the brain. It's just like going to the gym and working out. But you can learn anything, just like in the Matrix. When Trinity said, after Keanu Reeves asks her, can you fly that helicopter? And she said, not yet. So all she had to do was call up and get a program to download it, and bam, she knew how to fly it. And that's really the way this works. You can learn anything. I have a 4-week course that I teach. It's 2 hours a week, so I don't overburden you, because there's assignments that you do throughout the week. And, every week you're learning something new. You do a new assignment, you get good at it. So by the next week, the following week, you're very, very astute. You're almost like an expert. And then we take you to the next step. And then you learn that piece of it. And then you get really good for 4 days or 5 days. After that, you get to practice, do some exercises the third week. By the fourth week, if you've applied everything, you should have a really good, it should build your audience. You should know exactly how to use Facebook. I teach how to use Facebook with 0 ad spend, so you can target organically, how to create Facebook pages that are optimized, how to create a social media footprint, so you have a cluster of social media. So you're hitting from Google, you're hitting from Instagram, from Facebook, and all of these work together synergistically to give you a bigger presence. And when people are doing keyword searches, you're going to pop up for that specific service or product that you have. Whoever you're, like if you're in health and wellness, or if you're in weight loss, you're going to be targeting that weight loss group, or that fitness group, or a group over 30, a group over 40, whoever you're targeting, the acupuncture group. Those are the strategies that most people don't understand, how to use Facebook that way. And so that's part of what I teach. So that, there's some other things too. There's some personal development things, like rewiring, reprogramming how you think, how to have a higher vibration of frequency, so that you're attracting, intending, so that your intentions actually manifest. Because people get caught up in the how, and they're like, oh wow, how is that going to happen? How? Who's going to help? Who's going to help me? How? And they get focused on that, and nothing ever happens, because that's the wrong focus. Your mind should be focused on you, your belief, and feeling the feelings, the emotions of what it will feel like to have the result in the present. Even though it's future, you start to believe and feel how it feels to have the $1 million, how it feels to have a $50,000 income per month, what it feels like. It's like when you go sit in a $120,000 BMW M5 that has 630 horsepower. You can imagine what it feels like by seeing pictures of it, watching videos of it, but then you can go to the dealership and sit in it and actually drive it and get the experience and feel what it feels like. Or go take a yacht, go sit and take a tour of a $500,000 or $1 million or more home. Okay, start to feel the feelings of what it feels like to not be limited and restricted, because the money is not what changes your state. You change your state. The money just shows up because you want to have the feeling, you want to have the emotion. But the money will never come if you don't have the emotion, if you don't have the feeling, if you don't put yourself and play that program, because you're living in an old program. You're basically replaying a program that you had, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 40 years ago, whatever. And that's what we're talking about, is how to reprogram and download new software so that you're playing the software and the program that you really want, and rewire. Powerful stuff, guys. Okay, hope you enjoyed it. If anybody wants to, I put the link. It's just workwithjoeanthony.com, workwithjoeanthony.com. It's a 4-week course. You can turbocharge any business that you have, whatever business it is, online, offline. You will learn amazing things. And for, probably if you went to Panera Bread every day or bought a grande mocha coffee at Starbucks every day for a month, that's probably what you would spend for my course. It's very affordable. I've made it very affordable because I want more and more people to benefit. The more people I can impact and the more people can benefit, you're investing in yourself. You're investing in creating a new program for yourself. Just like software, you buy new software, you update, you have new software. If you buy a new phone, a new laptop, you're investing to get the latest with the latest program. So thanks. And I will be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific for some amazing, amazing health technology through a new breakthrough technology in the health and wellness.